Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to this live virtual open event at the Northern School of Art. As you can see, staff are working from home at the moment. And although it is unfortunate that you can't come and see us in person, we do hope over the next 60 minutes or so you will get enough of an insight into who we are and what makes us tick as a specialist art and design institution. You will be hearing from staff across all of the programmes that we offer here. And in addition to that, we've also got students that have done their own kind of videos based on their perspective of the programme as well. We do have a section on student services where you'll hear about our accommodation and the fantastic support we offer our students, as well as the financial support as well from our colleague Nicola. At the end, you'll be joined by me again, and we will take part in a live Q&A session. So do take advantage of the Q&A facility on this piece of software, and then we'll get those answered for you. So what I'm going to do now is hand you over to our Vice Principal for Employability and External Relations, and he will introduce the open day in the school. Okay, so over to you, Patrick.
Hello everyone, and welcome. It's a real shame, as Liam says, that we can't meet in person today. For us, it's one of the joys of our work, actually talking to you and meeting you and understanding you as creative people. So what I want to do is introduce the Northern School of Art to you and explain why we're a special place. So the Northern is one of only a small number of specialist art and design institutions in the country. We're not a small institution ourselves. We've got roughly the same number of students as undergraduates as a large university arts faculty would do. We've got a nice compact campus. You won't get lost on site. There are only 5 large buildings with studios, workshops, theatre, seminar rooms, library, IT suites and things like that. But what we are is a special place. We're a creative, collaborative and welcoming community. What we do is we get to know you as an individual, supporting you to develop a successful creative professional. We know that, especially in times like this, many will be thinking, well, what about my future career? Well, we've got an outstanding record of student employability. For 4 consecutive years, more than 96% of our graduates were in work or in postgraduate study after they left us. Our graduates have gone on to incredibly diverse destinations recently, working for Lucasfilms. We had a costume artist working on Rogue One, for example. They worked for Channel 4, The Guardian, large e-commerce companies like Visualsoft, publishers like EMAP. They've worked for Vogue, Netflix, the BBC, the Royal Shakespeare Company, Aardman Animation, Pinewood, Sipsmith Gin. For those of you interested in textiles out there, one of our textiles graduates is now the chief designer at Sipsmiths. They've gone to Asda, they've gone to IKEA, they've worked with the House of Holland, and of course many of them have moved on to postgraduate degrees, master's degrees, or indeed have gone into teaching and taken initial training, teacher training programs themselves. So we only offer creative degrees and master's degrees. So you're going to find out more about these soon, but that means that we are a focused community of creatives all working together and all understanding each other. And those degree programs and master's programs have been developed in partnership with people in the creative industries working in them, with their direct input, both to teaching and learning and also to how we've developed the program in the first case. We encourage our students to collaborate across all of the different courses and disciplines. That's exactly how you will work in the real world. So for example, as an actor, you might work with a filmmaker, you'll work with a costume designer, a set maker, That's the kind of way that we operate. We also offer you this highest possible standard of teaching and learning experience. Many of our creative practitioners, our creative academics have their own practice going at the same time. And we work with many creative professionals who come in and work with our students on their programs, either giving critiques, offering live brief challenges, and basically helping you to develop as an individual. We've had the TEF Gold, that's the Teaching Excellence Framework Gold standard, since it started back in 2017. You might say, how do we get all of this? How do we do all of this for our students? Well, because we are special, we are a specialist, and we only do art and design, we invest in our facilities for you. So whether that's cameras, studio spaces for each individual student, industry standard film equipment, photographic studios, a brand new theatre space, print rooms, IT, edit suites, a fabulous sewing room and cutting rooms, all of those things we think are special. And you'll see some of those in the video that you'll see after I've shut up. We also do it through giving you support on site, and you'll hear more about that from colleagues. But it's not just your program tutors that will be working with you. We've got dedicated pastoral support, dedicated support for people with particular needs in their learning. We've got support for dyslexia, autism. We also do the right thing by you, which is creatives often get a bit scared of the word academic, and our degrees are academic, but we have dedicated support and a particular tutor who works with you on the academic side of things. You'll get very high levels of contact time if you come to the Northern School of Art. We will offer you 16 hours of contact time each week at all 3 levels of your undergraduate study. So that is also supplemented by the additional time you can spend in the studios and spend in the workshops. And those are open till late in the evening, 4 days a week. So you get that opportunity without booking, except in COVID situation at the moment, to get access to all of that specialist kit. We also do it, as I said earlier, by working very closely with the creative and cultural sector. Those sort of live projects that you might get involved in could mean that on work experience or on a live project, you might have a piece of costume on the next series of Killing Eve. One of our level 5 students produced the wonderful pig's head for Villanelle's costume in the 2nd season. You might exhibit and sell a collection of textiles or surface design in Paris or Brussels when we get back to having real events and show and trade fairs. And you might exhibit your work in an exhibition that you've curated yourself locally. We work with incredible numbers of different organisations, as perhaps the list I cited at the front shows you, but work experience is a really key part of this. So we've had people who've worked with as costumiers with Sandy Powell, the multi-Oscar winning costumier. We've had people design sets for BBC TV comedies which have appeared on the shows. You might get to work with someone like Jimmy Turrell, who is an outstanding international videographer and graphic artist, working with people like Beck. He worked with our students on a project for BBC Radio 1, for example. Or you might get to bump into Amber Butchart, the TV fashion historian, who is a pretty regular visitor to campus, not just coming and talking, but really coming and giving feedback to our students and giving them insights into industry. That's not all. We offer you something which isn't a career service. We will make sure that you get what we call an employability service. You'll get the opportunity to enjoy specialist support to develop as a creative professional, to have mentoring, direct one-to-one, to learn about being a creative professional and the business aspects that means, because many creative practitioners out there do work in smaller operations, they set up their own companies, or they work as freelancers. So we give you the support around marketing, business development, business setup, all of the things that you need to know. We're here to actually provide you with, either one-to-one or in small group sessions. It's also nice to know that because there's quite a lively and vibrant creative scene in the Northeast where we're based, we're very much part of that, sponsoring events, creating events and competitions and shows, which you will get the opportunity to be a real part of, so that you will get to meet people who are already out there in the creative world and develop your contacts, because that's an essential part of being a creative practitioner. And also, we've got some amazing facilities that we run in partnership with our local authority, which offer incredibly heavily discounted creative workspace right next door to our campus in a beautiful converted, indeed award-winning conversion of a Victorian building. So all of these types of facilities are yours, and the support we offer students doesn't stop when they graduate. All of our employability services are open to our graduates forever. So, as an art school, I've said we're right at the centre of a wider Northeast arts scene. We ourselves run the biennial Northern Festival of Illustration, but we get involved with a whole range of different festivals running in the area and events. These offer you the chance to gain experience in managing events, in presenting work at events and shows, and really giving you an insight in how the teams behind these things work. That festival, the Festival of Illustration, is part of our international profile as an institution. We run alongside it an international competition which attracts entries from right across the globe. The last time it ran, we had entries from 6 different continents. That's the kind of profile that we have as an institution. So I'm not going to talk any more about us, but you might think, you're based in Hartlepool, that's a small place. It is. And the Northern School of Art isn't going to be for everybody. It's a particular type of institution. We love it. We think you'll love it, and you'll hopefully love it after you've seen some more of it and heard from our students in a few minutes. But do bear in mind, whilst we may be in a small town, we're on the edge of the North Sea, we're a coastal town, we've got great water sports facilities, we're next door to a national park, which you can see out of the upper floors of our campus, and we're next to big cities like Newcastle, which is a 30-minute train ride away, and the railway station is right next door to campus. So if you want the buzz of the big city, you're not very far away from it. So I don't want to say any more about this. Have a look at what we've got following now, and you make your own choice, because that's the important thing here. This is a process that you're going through of researching where you want to study. You need to learn about us just in the same way as whenever you come to interview with us, we want to learn about you. It's a two-way process. If you don't think we're right for you, then that's fine. But we hope we've got something special to offer you. So I'm going to pass you over now to some video, firstly, which will show a little snapshot of some of our facilities. And then, as Liam said, you'll hear from the academic staff working on the programs. And more importantly, I think you'll hear from some of our students. So hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you in the Q&A.
Hello, my name's Jonathan Chapman and I'm Senior Lecturer in Fine Art. These will be your studios if you come to us. Here you'll have room to develop and experiment. You'll be taught by practicing artists, theorists and curators. You'll have the opportunity to study two-dimensional media such as painting, printmaking and collage, and lens-based media including photography, video and performance. You'll also have a chance to explore sculptural media including casting, mould making and welding. And our students go on to develop careers as artists, arts administrators and teachers.
I looked around a lot of unis and the reason that I chose this one is because it had the highest teaching standard award and the longest contact time with my lecturers, and it also had the biggest studio spaces, which I thought was really nice. I like the fact that we can use other courses facilities as well, because it's not a huge uni, so people are really welcoming to let you come and use their studio spaces and their workshops. Personally, I really like the theory side, so I focus mainly on the theory and like the history, but I know a lot of people like Amy. She makes a lot of work and I think her theory side isn't so heavy and she makes more paintings. The student life in Hartlepool is quite vibrant. When I came here, I was worried that I'd be really lonely and that I wouldn't make loads of friends, but it's the complete opposite. I think because it's so small, everyone knows each other and it feels a bit more close-knit.
Hi, my name is Neil Bushnell. I'm the Senior Lecturer on the Illustration for Commercial Application degree course at the Norton School of Art. It's a long-running and well-respected degree course, and we have students coming to us who are interested in lots of different types of careers within the field of illustration. So we have people who are interested in being comic artists or illustrators for picture books and publication, and for fashion illustration, editorial illustration, and people who are interested in concept art, storyboarding, and working within film and television. My own background is working in animation and illustration for publishing for the last 20 years. So I've worked across a broad range of industries and productions. And that's the same with all of the team, the lecturers on the illustration course. We all have a current and relevant experience within the illustration industry. And we bring those practices and techniques back into the course so that what we're teaching our students is relevant and current and will apply directly to their career within illustration. We have very strong links with industry, and we have regular speakers coming in to talk to our students from various disciplines within illustration. So last year we had Chris Chatterton, who's a picture book illustrator, who came in and spoke to our students, and then also did a portfolio review of those students who are interested in going into a similar route into industry that Chris did. We also have Atom Hawk, who are a concept arts, film and TV and game studio based in Gateshead, who come in the last few years, and they've set a live brief for our students to work to, and that's something we do quite a lot within industries. With our links within industry, we get them to come in and set live briefs for our students so that they're getting a real world experience of how to work to the confines of what a client requires, and to real world deadlines as well. We have several students who've gone directly into industry, into various aspects of illustration, including working for national publications, newspapers like The Guardian, and we have others who've gone into various aspects of publishing, film and television, and into teaching as well. We also have very close links to the Festival of Illustration, which happens here just outside our studio every 2 years. And it's an international festival where we have speakers coming to us from around the world who exhibit and talk here. And it's a great opportunity for our students to engage with people who are working within the industry, and also to exhibit alongside those professionals as well. So, you know, they're seen and treated in the same way within the exhibition as professional illustrators.
One of the things that I was looking for was like the enthusiasm of the lecturers. All of the staff are so passionate about what they do. The best thing about studying at the Norton School of Art is that there's such a focus on the industry. Things like fees and contracts and stuff. It's really focused on actually trying to make a career out of what you do. I wanted to study here and on this course because it kind of gave you the space to work out what you wanted to do and to not be restricted by kind of certain areas of illustration. We get a lot of guest lecturers come in, and it's nice because you get the ability to ask questions to these people as well, and you get an insight into kind of what they're doing currently, what they've done in the past, and how they got from where you are currently to where they are now. The Festival of Illustration happens every 2 years here. In my first year I was in that and I exhibited alongside some of the lecturers' work, and we also had the opportunity to sell work as well. So we all had stalls and things, and there was guest speakers. I'm going to really miss being here. I think it just creates like a little support network. Overall, I've had a really good 3 years. Like I wouldn't change it. The life I've got and the friends I've got through being here, and the education that I've got.
Hi there, I'm Olivia Watson, and I run the graphic design programme and the digital design and advertising programme. Both programmes run very, very closely together, and if you're more from an art and design background, then perhaps the graphics programme would be better suited. And if you're more digital, then it would be the digital design and advertising programme. Both programmes work on a range of different disciplines, from social media design, typography, image making, web design, app design, and we run a number of live projects as well. So we run projects with the D&AD New Blood Awards, which means that we have worked with clients such as Adidas, Nike, Teen Vogue last year, and they've been really successful in sort of creating a really interesting and diverse portfolio. All of the staff on the programmes are from industry, so we're all working graphic designers and digital designers, which means the advice that you're getting to develop a really unique portfolio is coming from industry. We work really closely with our students, and we are able to offer a really kind of bespoke one-to-one learning with each of our students to develop something really unique and special about their portfolio. We cover a range of subjects from typography, social media design, web design, app design, and campaign management, advertising. So you'll learn a real range and have a really diverse portfolio within our programs. If there's any more questions, please do feel free to get in touch.
The course is amazing. We've got all the Adobe suite that we need to do all the things that we need to do in graphic design. The lecturers are really good. They help you get all your work done on time. They give you all the support that you need. The community in this uni is really good as well. Like you're just surrounded by creative people. When I first came here, I only really used Photoshop, but now I've got all these different like apps and things that I can use. So it's really helped me experiment with different things and push my work with things that I've never really thought about using before. Of course, we often get different guest speakers in, and they give us a talk and like share their own work and give us like insight into how they work, what they've been doing in their experience in the industry, so you can get another different insight, which is I think really important, because it's not just getting things from one side, and you're getting people from all over the world in different places and different routes that show you how they've been working. The student life's good. There's some bars around in the town centre, but it's not just here. Like you can go a little bit further out the way, you can go to Middlesbrough or Stockton, and they've also got a really good nightlife, so it's nice to be able to not just spend all your time in Hartlepool, you can get out and it's not that far away.
I've chosen digital design and advertising because the course is brand new and both the lecturers have worked in industry, and that helps really well with the briefs and stuff because they're all very current and all the work that we're doing is revolved around industry. We've got a photography studio, a screen printing studio, lots of Macs that you can just go up and just work at all day. It doesn't matter what course you're doing, you're able to just go into a room and do your own thing and use different medias. It's a really helpful, calm, enjoyable environment. Digital design and advertising is a digital pathway in the graphic design course. You work very closely with the graphic designers because the briefs are very similar but slightly tweaked because they're tailored to your specialism. We do a lot of work with branding and a lot of work with animation. We do a lot of workshops with working on a lot of Adobe software to help us to design branding and promoting for an industry. Every year we get the chance to do placement in industry as well as international trips, and we have a lot of guest speakers coming in helping us as graphic designers in industry.
Hi, hello there. My name's Gemma Mcdonald. I'm Senior Lecturer of Photography here at the Norton School of Art. And as you can probably see, I'm a photographer and I've just come off a photographic shoot. So what do? I take a picture. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what we do here at the Norton School of Art and Photography. One of the great things about this course is where it's at, is the location. We've got some incredible places to be able to photograph. The course is kind of supported by an amazing range of facilities as well. As you can see, I'm stood in this amazing studio, professional, purposely built photographic studio, one of the best in the northeast of England. And students really love being able to have this access to this incredible studio for the 3 years that they're here. And we have a plethora of amazing traditional film cameras, ranging from 35mm cameras right up to big studio 5x4 cameras as well. So you're inducted in how to use them. And we look at practice, we look at you, we look at developing your voice. Once we give you the skills to be able to make the pictures, we then expect you to go out and do it. Some people like to do it in the studio and they'll concentrate on products, concentrate on people or fashion. And some people like to take the cameras and go out and look at the world and explore the world and make documentary pictures or make pictures about issues that might be outside of here. Traveling, we've had students that have gone off and traveled to India, to America. Recently, we've done some really good stuff with The Guardian. We've had people up from the Sunday Times, photographers. We've had curators coming in from the Norman Parkinson Archive, which is really incredible. We've had visiting lecturers, Tom Stoddard, Peter Dench, who are making a living from being photojournalists around the world. We also align ourselves with vocational people as well. So at the moment, and for a long time, we've been kind of affiliated with the Association of Photographers, and they represent over 1,000 photographers in this country. It is fed into aspects of our kind of vocational nature of learning about being a photographer.
So I chose this university because it's a really small uni, so I felt like I could get more one-to-one time with the tutors. The facilities are amazing. We've got all up-to-date cameras, all the software. We've got Photoshop, Capture One, Lightroom, the links with professional photographers, and to get a job afterwards in the subject that I wanted to, I felt would be a lot easier with the help provided. Student life is really good. We've got a couple of bars on campus. Obviously, last year when I was in halls, that was so much fun. Yeah, everyone's really nice. I've really enjoyed student life, being here. It makes me feel like I'm ready to go out into industry afterwards.
Hi, my name's Mike Boyle. I'm the Senior Lecturer on the Film, TV and Theatre Production Programme. This is our TV studio. What's unique about our programme is that we get to with different programmes, giving our students a really good experience of what it's like to be in the real world, but in a safe environment of education. Students really love the fact that they get to work with other students who are learning their trade, while our students are learning to produce, direct, write, do audio, do camera work and edit, so they get a whole package of what they're doing. We get an amazing opportunity for our students, not only to learn the film and TV, but also to run a theatre. They can do stage management, they do directing, lighting and sound at the theatre. So collectively, they get an amazing thing. The last thing to say is we get loads of guest lecturers and loads of amazing sort of business and client opportunity. We recently have worked on feature films, our students. We've recently had graduates going straight into the film industry, straight into working for BBC and for Channel 4. And we've also had Tom Marshall, a former student, came to do a talk for us. And he's now a writer-director and has recently worked on Space Force for Netflix, starring Steve Carell. So come and say hello, come and look around, and we hope to see you soon.
I chose to come here because the course is a lot more practical. There's more opportunity to do physical work rather than it being like theory based. one of the main selling points about this uni as well was the fact that there's a range of things you can do. I've had the chance to do commercial adverts, creative films, theatre pieces. We had the opportunity of either making a film or an advert, and we chose to make a film. That went on to win Best Student Short at New Renaissance. I think it really sets you up for the industry a lot more than it would if it was just more theory and sort of reading. Student life's, I think, really good both inside and outside of uni. There's a lot of opportunity to mingle with different people. And there's also the student union, which is really good. So there's lots of events on there. We tend to go to like the comedy nights and film nights and stuff like that. There's opportunity to host your own events as well if you want to. We've got access to good lecturers and support when we need it, and I think everybody's quite closely knit as well, and it's more focused on collaboration and working together. And it also means that we've got access to a lot of actors and vice versa. Everyone can rely on each other.
Hi, I'm Johnny Bushnell. I run the BA Acting for Stage and Screen course here at the Northern School of Art. Our course looks to offer you the drama school style experience outside London. It's a practical course. The first year is all about getting the basics right. So working with you on your voice, on ways of creating characters, on your use of body and physicality. And then that really feeds into the rest of the 3 years of your programme. As you progress on the second year, we look at things like classical acting and different ways of acting for different media, whether that be to camera or to be voiceovers. And also throughout the 3 years, we encourage you to make your own work, which is really, really important as an actor. We've got extensive industry links. We are the official education partner of ARC in Stockton, which is our local arts centre. Not only do we do performances there, they have a 250-seat theatre where our second and third years perform. We've had a range of guest speakers. We've had Frantic Assembly. We've had directors from the National Theatre, actors who've worked with the RSC and at the Globe. We've also had actors who've worked in massive things on Netflix and the BBC. Collaboration is at the heart of our course. You'll work extensively with the film, TV and theatre students as they will write, direct and then shoot short films. They'll also work on the technical side of any of our theatre productions as well. We also have a set design course. We'll produce sets for our films and short plays. In addition to that, we also have photography courses. So you get really, really high quality headshots for your CVs. So you're ready to go out into industry.
I chose to come to the Northern School of Art because the course wasn't like any other ones that I'd seen at universities. We have 2 big acting studios and we now have a sound booth, so any radio things that you'd like to do, you can hire that out and go and record it yourself. You can also hire out cameras for anything you might want to do outside of uni. And we obviously have the theatre, which is really nice to be able to perform in a theatre. This course really helps you prepare for after uni because of all the external opportunities you have. For example, in my first year, we got the opportunity to audition for Theatre Hullabaloo's Theatre in Wonderland, which was a children's immersive theatre experience of Alice in Wonderland, and I was cast as the Queen of Hearts. So that was really cool. And also working with Tangled Feet Theatre Company at ARC, who are a professional theatre and a professional theatre company. So working in that setting was also really good. It's so collaborative with the film, TV and theatre course, with the costume course, with the graphic design course. You get the opportunity to work with loads of different people and it's all very practical.
Welcome to the BA Honours Production Design for Stage and Screen programme. We're here to develop artists who want to work in the film, TV and theatre industries. And it's an overarching programme that looks at everything from production design, which is the top job, right, through a pyramid of work to scenic artists, model makers. We'll also develop your technical skills as a designer. We'll look at technical drawing, model making, perspective drawing, things like that. All the tools that people need to be a production designer or work in the production design industry. We're the only program in the country that actually builds scenery. Many get to the level of design, but don't build stuff. But we look at the employable skills our industry partners say that they need So we look at scenic construction, we look at scenic painting. And in the second year of study, we do a full-scale build where, as you can see behind me, students have been working on a full-scale set for an apothecary. Our course provides professional development for all our students. We do some live projects. We're working with people like Auckland Castle, where we're developing prop food to go on display in the museum. We also do live theatre projects, we do museum projects, anything we can do outside the institution to try and promote students, and so that students can see what professional development they might need to get in the industry.
I love TV and film and theatre. I just love the magic that goes into creating the sets and the environments and the visuals. I chose the Northern School of Art because it had a lot of different skills that you could gain throughout the 3 years. You could make full-scale sets such as this one, and you can also learn to do white card scale models and do technical drawings, as well as learn Photoshop and SketchUp and Illustrator on the computers. I think it helps you because you learn a lot of skills that you need for the industry, not only skills that like you get marked on, but you get industry knowledge as well as that, and that's like valuable. The tutors we have on this course are amazing. They have opportunities that come in externally from the uni for work experience, which they offer to students as well, which is amazing because we get to not only work in a studio in uni, we get the experience outside, so you get to really put your skills into practice. My favourite thing about this course is the variety of people that it brings. We get people that are really good at drawing and others that are really good at painting and building. And then when we all come together in second year to create a big build such as this one, everyone has a role and it works really well.
Hi, I'm John Noble. I'm Creative Lecturer on the Visual Effects and Model Making degree programme here at the Northern School of Art. For model making visual effects, we deal with high-end model making, which could be practical or digital, with a range of industry applicable outcomes such as visual effects, products, prototyping, automotive model making, heritage industry, special effects, you name it, the chances are we can do it. What the students really love about this program is it's the dynamic teaching, of course. It's the opportunities to learn new things, discover new skills, try processes they've never tried before, and just experiment with industry standard software, materials and techniques. So past students have worked on British Film Institute funded short films. We've had work experience on Sky Atlantic TV, and we have links with local museums and industry. We've had some great visiting lecturers over just the 2 years we've been around, notably Doug McCarthy, a 25-year veteran of the Hollywood special effects trade. He came and did little workshops with our groups, that was great. And we've had Bentley Advanced Materials, who serve the industry with silicons and plastics, all sorts. And they've done workshops with our students wherein they've all got to try things for themselves. This year, the projects include making a Millennium Bug. We're going to do caricature medical models. We've got a tensegrity structure. And the last thing, we're going to do a Macy's-style balloon parade right down the high street. Huge and visual effect, obviously.
When I came here first for an open day, I really liked this I could immediately tell there was a sense of community that was really nice, and I just connected with it. And I kind of just thought, this is the place I want to go. The good thing about studying here is because it's quite small, you get loads of contact time with the teachers, which is really helpful. The workshop's always open, so you can always get those resources. And there's loads of collaboration with other courses and other years, so there's loads of opportunities for learning. The tutors are both friendly and really well informed. They try and help us work to industry standard of deadlines and quality. I've learned more in the last month than I thought I ever would. I've made loads of friends, and I think that as soon as I got here, I realised that this is just I felt that it was a really nice place, and I haven't been disappointed by that.
Hello, my name's Ian Borden and I'm a lecturer on the BA Honours Costume Interpretation with Design. Within the programme, we fully prepare students for employment or postgraduate education through a unique study, including everything from design, pattern cutting, construction, sewing of costumes, including tailoring, millinery and leather moulding. We have excellent facilities and space for students studying, including our sewing studios, dye labs and costume study archive, where down there we have everything from Victorian clothing all the way through to modern day that students can freely study. We have fantastic links within industry, which can either be live projects, Bowes Museum, Beamish, Auckland Castle, or work experience. Students recently working on Netflix's English Game, BBC's His Dark Materials, or within the Royal Opera House. We also have visiting speakers, including Michelle Gallagher from Game of Thrones, Sally Ann Pravan, who's created hats for the likes of Kate Middleton, all a great platform for entering the costume industry. Students recently working on the likes of Doctor Who, Fleabag, Killing Eve, and Harry Potter and the Cursed Child down in the West End.
I chose to come to the Northern School of Art because this course was completely different to any other costume course I found in the whole country. The collaboration between the different courses is a much wider variety than you could think of. There's so much freedom with my work. I can do anything that I would choose to do in each module, and for me that's one of the best factors of coming here. Coming to the university, I've had the opportunity to make completely different skills I'd never have thought I'd be able to achieve. We get to make different events run by ourselves or the staff here, and we've all been able to come together as a diverse community, and it's great. The tutors here and my lecturers are so normal and friendly. They're really approachable and they've made my life here so much easier. Their background in the industry is crazy, how much experience they've got. The links here are endless. The tutors have connections to everywhere we could possibly need to be, and that is a massive factor for me. I'm really looking forward to the future here. I've had the opportunity to make such amazing friends and meet new staff and get such amazing experience which you couldn't find anywhere else.
Hello, I'm Dr. Carol Harris. I'm the faculty lead for Fashion with Body Contour. Students who come onto the programme don't necessarily have to have been able to sew prior to coming onto this course. We teach them everything they need to know, from how to use the machines, how to sew the product together, how to design it, and how to sketch it and present it in a professional manner. We also use the OptiText system, which allows students to create their product on the screen and then see it as a 3D avatar. We've also had visiting speakers in from the UK and around the world, such as Amber Birchart. We have students that have had job placements in All Saints and have also set up their own business. So if you choose to come here, we will teach you all the skills that you need to know to embark upon a career as a fashion designer.
I chose the university because it was really nice and small and I could get the whole adult life experience and kind of living on my own, more realistic to what would it be like in a workplace or after university, which I really, really do appreciate. So with the technicians and the lecturers, they all have different backgrounds. So some of them were specialists in pattern making, others were specialists in like being a mechanic on the sewing machines. So you get that nice diversity where they all have different aspects, so they know what it's like to work in that area. The facilities are absolutely amazing. It's outstanding. It's the fact that I'll always have workspace and I'll always have a sewing machine. Student life's really good here, especially on my course. We usually don't have a booked session on Fridays. So for me personally, that's really nice because if I want to go home for the weekend, it makes it all worth the while. So I get to travel on the Thursday evening. Other things that I've done with the university would be kickboxing. So they've had sessions usually weekly. It gets you out of your room and it gets you out of your accommodation, but you're not necessarily stuck at university doing uni work. So to me, the Northern School of Art is a caring institution that actually looks after your well-being, but they also challenge you to ensure that you actually reach your full potential.
So this would be our new fashion creative direction for student intake 2021, and it's an exciting course because if you you don't believe you want to be a designer or a maker, you know, but you're really interested in the fashion industry and how we communicate fashion in other ways, this is the one for you. It is a way of and it is the way we communicate fashion, because if you think about fashion today, we're living in a very different time, and our digital kind of experience has probably moved faster than what people expected, because we've had to adapt to the way that we do things digitally, and the fashion industry has had to do that so much more. Because of the way that, you know, whether if it was Graduate Fashion Week or whether it's fashion shows or how we're getting out there to the people still. And so it's a great opportunity for communication, creative communication. It looks at modern fashion communication for the world we live in today. And it also prepares us for the future, because if we've sped up now with our digital, what is the future for that? Because it's only going to grow and grow. And to have the skills and the knowledge and the understanding of the full fashion cycle, but with that digital media and digital understanding of marketing and branding, amazing. It is exciting. So fashion is exciting, and it is the way we see, and we see it on a daily basis, whether it's fed through like social media or in the shops. We see the visual aspect of it and the innovation aspect of it, but behind and working alongside fashion is the commercial realities which fashion is centered around. Marketing and branding provides opportunity for reinvention and creative direction, and it can have amazing results because we have to understand what our customers want and what what a brand is offering, but how do we sell that? How do we understand that? So this course does consider new attitudes to virtual fashion. You know, and if you want to look at store visual merchandising, marketing, branding, forecasting, advertising, there's more. You know, you could have marketing, PR. You've got fashionable journalism. This course is going to cover all the aspects that you need to understand how the industry works, and also the digital application that you would need to achieve that. So these are some of the things that the degree will focus on. It is important that we understand our consumer insights and future trends. You know, there is kind of things that cross over between our fashion and that, because it is fashion we're looking at, but we deliver our outcomes in a different way for this. It's no good kind of trying to sell something and putting branding strategies out there if it's not effective and the customer's not interested in it. And that is where our marketing comes in. We need to understand our customers want it before we start to produce it. So how to develop a marketing strategy to complete the ever-changing fashion industry. Remember, it is fast. We have to be always on the ball, always looking for that next thing, always looking about what we can do now to make people want to come to our brands. How do we sell this? No, I mean, remember social media, it's on, we've fed something like 5,000 adverts a day from different things, and it's only ever going to increase that. So you kind of need to have that advert or the advertising or the branding strategy that's going to really kind of catch the customer's eye. Make them want to come to that brand to look and invest and sell. Once you have a customer, how do you keep that customer? How do you keep the sales coming through? So we need to develop understanding of the different levels and the brands that we're going to produce for. Create effective marketing and brand strategy in the fashion and lifestyle industry. How it can become distinctive and desirable. How we communicate with our customers through our innovative ideas, the sustainability and digitization of the context of the global fashion, because we have to look at what's happening in the fashion world. We have to understand that how do we keep going with what we're doing, you know, the sustainability of what we do, but also, you know, you could even look at the sustainability aspect that is impacting massively on the fashion industry at the moment. Look at unique selling points, your USPs, positions and potential gaps in the market, but also we'll look at how we style something, how we photograph it.
Hi, my name's Jane Hemmings and I'm a Senior Lecturer on BA Honours Textiles and Surface Design. Our programme is for anybody who would like to have a career within interiors, fashion fabrics or gift and related industries in terms of creating artwork and patterns to go onto surfaces and products as either a designer or a designer maker. Within the degree, we explore drawing, image generation, the design process, print, embroidery and embellishment, and the production and construction of textile products. Our resources are absolutely fabulous. We've got amazing print rooms, dye labs, studios, and a wonderful sewing room, and all of our resources are open access, vibrant, and supported by creative technicians. Our lecturers all have extensive industry experience and we're passionate and knowledgeable. Our live assignment and work experience opportunities allow students to get their foot in the door while they're still undergraduates, experience the real world of work, and also to receive really in-depth feedback from industry professionals alongside feedback from tutors. We exhibit internationally at trade shows, and our students also get to do lots and lots of exhibitions and competitions while they're studying with us. Our outcomes are exceptional. Our students go on to working in design studios, they work freelance, they become designer makers and teachers, and also work in community arts and related careers.
I really got a feel for the university as soon as I came to one of the open days. There's just amazing facilities here. Being shown around, we can dye easily, there's massive print studios in which we can do screen printing, and that's what's the lovely thing about being able to do both digital and hand print. They cater to both. The teaching staff are fantastic, they're really supportive, and you know them on a one-to-one basis. The class sizes are a lovely size to be able to have a really nice relationship with the teachers. There's lots of opportunities for work experience. It's very much encouraged. They want you to try your best to experience working in the industry, and that's really important to help your studies. The SU is great. They hold comedy nights, they have parties and events on that are put on by other courses, which is really nice. They like to do fundraisers for degree shows, which is really important as well. I just think it's all round, it's a very, very nice environment to be in.
Hi, I'm Alison Agar and I work on the Master's degree in Design History here at the Northern School of Art. The MA Design History involves the study of design within a historical, contemporary, critical and theoretical framework. As well as this, the students have the opportunity to work with professionals from the heritage and museum sector, working on live briefs and projects. We've welcomed lecturers from all over the world, including New York, Paris and Budapest. Through doing this course, students have the opportunity to develop their academic voice through academic writing and academic research, as well as gain skills in project management, curating and digital skills for the future industry.
Hello, I'm Dr. Carol Harris. I'm the faculty lead for the MA Creative Design Enterprise. This is an exciting new programme which allows students to carry in-depth research into their business, ideation and final modules. The Research Methods module allows students to investigate areas of research that will inform their further practice. The business module introduces students into the business aspects of setting up their own business and developing a product from the beginning to a final piece. The ideation section of the module will help students create a product that is unique, different, and has a place in the market. Students then carry on through the year to produce this product as a three-dimensional piece. The final piece will be presented to an industry panel to assess its viability within the chosen marketplace. We have visiting speakers from around the world that come in and give students an insight into their fields and areas.
I'm Jerry Bussell. I run the brand new MA Directing and Performance practice. Now this MA is perfect for any graduate from a acting, drama, theatre studies or English degree who's got a real passion and desire to go into directing or theatre making after graduation. The course begins by looking at a wide range of the theoretical ways of making work or the theoretical concepts around ways to direct work. After that, you will then apply that theory to a range of different projects. These include working with actors on text, adapting work for theatre, theatre and multimedia, and also devising work. As you go through the course, you'll have the opportunity to collaborate with the BA acting students so that you get that experience of working in small groups with a group of actors, but also you'll be able to collaborate with your peers on the Masters to create your own work. As the course progresses, you'll have the opportunity to have a final major project working in whatever style you want. And throughout that, you'll have complete autonomy, still being supported and mentored by professional actors. We have a wide range of industry links which all feed into the programme and will support possible placements where appropriate. This is a really, really exciting MA and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing some of the fantastic work that students make on it.
Hi everyone, my name is Teresa Latcham and I'm the Student Services Manager. I'm just going to take you through a short presentation to tell you about the support that we can offer you here at the Northern School of Art. So the Student Services team are there to support our students with their wider student life outside of their studies. They're there for advice and guidance on practical things such as travel, finance and living independently, but they're also there to help with small or larger things that are not academic, but if they're left, can start to have an effect on their studies. The support we can offer can range from practical to emotional. Practical things like how to find a local GP, how to register with a dentist, or what to do if the washing machine door's stuck, or advice on finances or on how to get a TV licence. The more emotional aspects can be things like a shoulder to cry on, someone to vent to on a bad day, or just someone to talk to that's not family or linked to friends, or it can be more formal emotional support. We're easily accessible, we have an open door policy and you can just pop in to see us, although some of our services do require an appointment. You can email us, we've got lots of information on the VLE and in leaflets, and now we're also available on Teams. So these are the types of things that we can offer support on. We support our students with disabilities and health conditions. We can offer financial support, support with study skills, mental health and wellbeing, pastoral and welfare support and accommodation. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about each of those things. So for our students with disabilities, we offer advice on disabled student allowance, on the process and how to apply. And if this applies to any of you, please do apply as soon as possible because it can take quite a while to get the support through. We also liaise with our lecturers and work with them to ensure that any reasonable adjustments that need to be made within the studios are in place, or any resources that you need are in place as well. A lot of support at HE is provided by external organisations, so if needed we can help in liaising with those support providers as well. We can also offer financial support, again through the process of applying for student loans, and also advice on evidence needed and that type of thing. We can also provide advice and guidance on budgeting and support. If our students turn up and have forgotten their purse or wallet, we can offer short-term loans so that our students don't go without their lunch that day. We can also offer long-term support for any unexpected financial costs that may crop up during the term. On site, we've also got a specialist study skills advisor that supports our students with dyslexia, and we have got a high percentage of our students that do have dyslexia, and I think that's probably due to the strengths that dyslexic people bring to the creative field. This support is funded through DSA, but again, we can help you through that process, and if you don't have any formal evidence of dyslexia, we can arrange for an assessment for you. The support is one-to-one, and that can include things like spelling strategies, organisation and planning, and obviously that's dependent on the needs of the individual student. In terms of mental health and wellbeing, we have an on-site counsellor that's available to all our students, and she can support with a range of emotional and mental health issues. And they can range from things like homesicknesses to more in-depth diagnosed illnesses. It is a confidential service. We also do a variety of activities to support wellbeing, and we're building upon that year on year. Our pastoral and welfare support is the most difficult to explain. We class it as a one-stop shop because it can cover absolutely anything and everything, any issue that can impact on academic study. But it's basically any issues that our students can come across in their wider student life. Sometimes students need a little bit of extra support or more specialist support, and we would liaise with external support organisations to make sure that the students get the best support available. The other thing that we do offer support in is accommodation. The Student Services team help with the halls of residence, Crown Halls and Titan House, which you'll hear a little bit more about in a short while. But we also work with private landlords to make sure our second year students and third year students or first year students who don't want to live in halls have a good standard of accommodation to live in. So there are our contact details. As I say, we are there to support our students right through from application, right through enrolment and right through the student journey. So please do feel free to contact us. Our halls of residence offer students that first step towards independent living, whilst also having the comfort of knowing there is support close to hand should it be needed. All our halls of residence are fully furnished with a standard set of furniture and cooking and laundry facilities within the communal areas. All bills, heating and electricity are included, so there are no additional costs. There's free internet access all throughout the halls. Entry to the halls is by a key fob, which is issued to the students at the start of the year. And each building is provided with a dedicated phone line for reporting any maintenance issues and a 24-hour call system in case of emergencies. We have two sites for our accommodation, Crown Halls and Titan House. Crown Halls is in the middle of the campus with easy access to both ends of Church Street. It's close to lots of local facilities, bars, shops, restaurants, cinema, and even the beach. And it's also just up the road from the train station. At Crown Halls, there are two different types of accommodation provided. At Tees Street, we have two blocks of 21 ensuite rooms over 3 floors, and each floor has 7 rooms and a large communal area. At Tower Street, we have 2 townhouses, each with 7 rooms, which are a mix of ensuite rooms and some rooms with a shared bathroom. Again, there is a communal area for socialising. We also have a number of fully accessible rooms for any of our students that have disability or mobility issues. At Titan House, we have 44 self-contained flats over 4 floors. Each flat has its own kitchen area and bathroom, but there is also a communal area on each floor. The flats range from standard to large, with the large having a separate living room. Titan is just a short walk away from the campus, just the other side of the shopping centre, so it's still close to all local amenities. Our halls are great value for money, costing from £104 a week for a standard flat at Titan to £115 for an ensuite room at Crown Halls.
Hello, my name is Nicola Anderson and I'm Finance Administrator here at the Northern School of Art. Apologies folks in advance, this is probably not going to be the most enthralling element of your open day, but I'm afraid it's necessary. After the excitement and inspiration of the last hour, it's time to give the finance talk, to give finance and info regarding how a student may fund their degree. I'm going to literally run through this presentation very quickly, as they've only given me 5 minutes. I think they don't want you to be bobbing off in the middle of it. So those are my contact details here at the Northern School of Art. There's my phone number and email address if anyone's got any questions at any time. So most of our students apply for student finance to fund their degree. They can apply for the tuition fee and also a maintenance loan. The tuition fee is £9,250 per year, and it's not income assessed, so anyone can apply for it no matter what the household income. Maintenance loan is an amount that is loaned to the individual depending on their requirements and household income. A maintenance loan can be applied for without providing financial information. So there's a basic amount that you can apply for without having to prove any evidence of income. If you want to access the maximum maintenance loan, you will need to provide your parent or sponsors who are living in your household with their income details. Eligibility for student loan is that you need to be a UK resident for the last 3 years and must not have studied a degree previously. Students can apply for a maintenance loan to help out with their living costs. How much they get depends on where they're living and where they're studying. They can also apply for a higher amount that's based on their household income. So this screen just sort of gives you a rough idea, and it's based on last year's and this year's maximum loan. It will slightly increase for next year, but only by a couple of pounds each year. So you can see how much you can possibly get if you're living with parents, if you're studying in London and not living with parents, or if you're studying outside London and not living with parents. This information is available online at Student Finance England website. Now this is a breakdown of roughly how much you may be able to get for a maintenance loan depending on your household income. So whatever the household income of both your sponsors or one sponsor, whoever lives with you, you just look at the income on the left hand side and scroll along to your circumstances, and it will tell you the maximum loan that you may be entitled to. It'll just give you a rough idea of what may be available when you're thinking about coming to study a degree. So tuition fees are paid directly to the Northern School of Art, and the maintenance loan will be paid directly into the student bank account at the beginning of each term. So September, January, and roughly March, April following the Easter break. If you need to pay your own fees, you must contact me directly and we will sort out a payment plan, usually monthly or termly, depending on your individual circumstances. MA funding, so postgraduate master's loan. Again, you can apply to student finance for your master's degree with help towards your course fees and living costs. You can get up to £11,222 if your course starts after the 1st of August this year. This is paid in 3 termly instalments directly to the student, and the student must then agree a payment plan with the school to pay these fees over the year. Repayments. So at some point, once you've finished your degree or MA, you will need to think about repayments, but not until you're actually earning. You'll pay 9% of the amount you earn over the threshold of approximately £26,575, and 6% of the loan you earn after the threshold for postgraduate loan. If you do not pay anything back if your income is under the threshold. So if you don't earn that amount of money, you would never pay it back, which presumably won't happen because you will be earning over that. Interest starts to be added to your loan when you get your first payment into your bank account in the September when you first start your degree. Next, I want to go on to bursaries. So I've created this slide. It's for a bit of fun when I'm doing this for students to try and capture their attention, because bursaries is free cash So everything we've talked about so far is in loan format and one day will have to be paid back. The bursaries from the school are actually free cash from the school, and once you've received it, you will not have to pay it back. So there are several bursaries available. These are all on our website, so you can run through and see which ones apply to you, and they can be used for anything that the student needs, so accommodation, materials, educational visits, living expenses, whatever the needs are. The maximum any one bursary can be in one academic year is £1,000. The bursary payment dates are paid out at the end of each term, so we recognise that students get their loans at the beginning of each term, and by the end of each term they usually need money desperately. So we put the bursaries in place for the end of each term into the student's nominated bank account.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to me again. So to this final part of the open day, it's our live Q&A. So it's not just my face that you will be looking at. We are joined by our lovely colleagues and a couple of our students as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to those first of all, and then we'll get cracking with the questions. So as I say your name, just give us a wave or say hello, and I'll go around. So we'll start off with Johnny Bussell, who is on our acting course. He's the faculty leader for our stage and screen courses. So give us a wave, Johnny. Next up, we have Gemma Blake, who is a student on our acting degree. Say hello, Gemma. Next up, we have Patrick Chapman, who is our Vice Principal for External Relations and Employability, and Pat obviously spoke to you at the beginning of the open day. We have Carol Harris, Dr. Carol Harris, who's joining us. She's also the faculty leader for fashion, costume and our MA programmes. We have Olivia Watson, who is a faculty leader for some of our programmes too, so such as illustration, photography, graphics, digital design and advertising and textiles and fine art. And then we have Teresa Latcham, who is our student services manager. Hi, Teresa. And then lastly, we have Rachel, who is a photography student on our level 4 course. OK, so that's everybody. Right, so questions. The first question we've got here is, well, it's quite relevant actually with what's going on at the moment with the pandemic. So does COVID-19 mean that the creative industry is going to suffer? So I think this is one for Pat to answer. So over to you, Pat. Just remember to unmute our microphones as well. There you go.
That's a great question, because obviously in the media you'll have heard a lot about the fact that the pandemic has actually had an impact on the creative sector. So I won't lie to you, yes it has. That said, it's going to be a sector that it's predicted to bounce back straight away after we move out of the restrictions that we're in. And one of the things that's been really positive throughout the pandemic is the fact that the Arts Council, who I'm a council member of, as well as government itself, have put considerable funds in excess now of £1.7 billion into sustaining the creative industries. And the Northern School of Art is itself working with our local elected Metro Mayor and his authority in a £1 million support scheme in the Tees Valley itself, where we're based, for particularly creative practitioners and small businesses in the creative sector. There's been research done by economics outfits that say that the sector is going to bounce back. But all I'd say is what do we all do during lockdown? We consume the creative industries. I've lived on music, I've lived on art, I've lived on on-demand TV. All of the things that we get involved in, we do. And I've also bought far too many clothes.
Thank you, Pat. So the next question here is the application deadline has been extended to the 29th of January. So that's right across the board for all universities. And will we still be accepting applications after this date? So the short answer to that is yes. The 29th of January is what we call an equal consideration deadline, but a lot of universities will still keep their application cycle open, and it all depends on like kind of programme availability. But ours, we assure you, will still be kept open, so we do encourage applications after that. Okay. The next question here is, will the course cost me a lot of money in regards to purchasing equipment and materials? So who should we open that up to? Olivia, would you like to answer that?
Hi Liam, yes I can answer that. In terms of costs for the programmes, it does depend which programme you have chosen, but generally the programme, the materials that you need, especially in first year, are provided for you. And then when you are working on your actual briefs, it could be that you want to kind of think about the other things that you might need to purchase for that, but it really isn't a very costly thing to do really. You can sort of budget for your briefs, and we always give you at the very beginning of the year an idea of how much we'd expect you to be looking at per module, but it can be as as little as £5–10 per submission. We have digital submissions too, kind of more depending on how much you want to kind of invest in the projects that you're working on. There is obviously things like film. If you work on a photography program, you'll get for any kind of workshop, you'll get that provided, but then you might want to invest kind of in your work. And remember, it's for your portfolio, so obviously that investment isn't going to waste. It's developing a portfolio of work. If you're on the costume course, for example, you might want to buy certain fabrics, but for workshops and so on, lots of these things will be provided, so it doesn't become a very costly process to kind of work on the program. I think a lot of our students worry about that, but it is very affordable. We make everything as affordable as we possibly can, because we obviously understand the kinds of worries that our students have around that. So I wouldn't worry. It isn't most things are provided for you, especially in your very first year of study, and it'll help you get to understand ways to create work cost effectively, and also to kind of use what is available for you as well, because you can be very creative on a very low budget, or you can kind of spend the money on sort of bigger, more expensive projects if you want to.
Thank you, Olivia. So this next question is about the student union. So I'm going to hand this over to Gemma. Can you tell us a little bit about the student union and how somebody would get involved once they enrol with us?
Yeah, of course. So I'm the student union president. And the student union is basically for students, run by students. If you want any events going on, we can sort it out. We've got a bar facility, which includes, we serve alcohol. We've also got a pool table, darts table, and like I said, we basically run the student experience. So we hold events, but courses can come to us to like run events. So we have like the comedy night for acting. We've had emo nights going on before. We've had raves, we've had zombie apocalypses, like you name it, we've probably had it. And if you name it, we could probably run it.
Okay, thank you, Gemma. So this next question is about, is there an opportunity for exhibiting work in the university and also in the local area? So I'll pass that over to Pat.
And the simple answer to that question is yes to both of those. Within the school itself, we've got a gallery area which different courses use at different times throughout the year. But we also work with a range of different galleries and spaces in the local area where often on your programme you will actually set up and curate your own exhibitions and shows. There was a great opportunity with our photography students a year ago where they actually took over an empty space on the street where we're based and set up a really fabulous documentary photography exhibition, which ended up being featured in the Guardian newspaper and also got a name check through the Arts Council as well. But we work with galleries, we work with the local authorities gallery, which is where we partly base the Festival of Illustration, where every time that runs we exhibit students' work. But there's a whole raft of different places where you can do that. So yeah, it's really easy, and we'll work with you if you want to do it on your own or if you want to do it as part of your programme itself.
Thank you, Pat. We've got an applicant here who it's a course specific question, this for Johnny. So they're not very theatrical based in their acting, they're more TV and film, and they just want to know a little bit about how the course is split across those two pathways.
Yeah, so I run the acting degree. I mean, the course is pretty much like 75% theatre, 25% screen. But it's actor training is theatre training, so like we don't expect you to come perfect. You know, we'll work with you on your voice, on your physicality, on how you sort of create characters and stuff like that. And then it's about working out how you modify your performances for different mediums, whether that's for film, whether that's for voiceover, radio, or whether that's for theatre. So you know, people come with different specialisms, and it's something that we sort of talk about is just being open to all the different areas, because you don't. You know, when you're 18, you don't really know what you could do and what is possible within the sector. So, yeah, you know, stick down an application, come and have an audition, come and see what we're all about. And it's a very, very broad spectrum across our course, to be fair.
Thank you, Johnny. This next question is Olivia, maybe. So how is work experience arranged? Do they have to find it on their own, or is there a module on it? Do they do work experience in their own time? How does it work on your course?
So for the different, it depends really. The answer is in lots of ways. That the answer is it really does depend on the programme, but it also happens in lots and lots of different ways. So we always encourage work experience. You can have the opportunity to have work experience in all 3 years of study, so you can do a placement throughout the 3 years. And what we tend to do is there's certain modules where we specifically, you know, tell our students or prepare our students and help our students in developing the work experience sort of side of their portfolio. So we'll get students to be contacting companies and so on. On top of that, we often have a lot of guest speakers. We have a lot of contacts whereby we often are made aware of work experience opportunities. So, for example, we had a work experience opportunity with an art director for some of our graphic students. And he requested the students to go and work with him. We selected the students through a process of kind of application, and then the students worked with the art director and designer for a couple of weeks and did the front cover for the creative review. So the kinds of placements are very open in terms of how we do it. So the students are kind of encouraged to work with people if they want to, and go and often seek their own opportunities, but also we get opportunities sent to us as well. And all the way through the 3 years that you're with us, we're preparing students to be working with industry and working on live projects and live briefs. So there's always these opportunities coming up. So you know, there's always some kind of opportunity right around the corner for more work experience to add to your CV.
Thank you, Olivia. I'm going to invite Pat into this if there's anything else he wants to add to that.
Thanks, Liam. Just to echo what Olivia said, there isn't a set time necessarily where you need to go for work experience. We do not have that in the same way as, say, a sandwich course or a course with a placement year. We do it because we need to respond to how the creative industry works. So when there's demand out there, we'll facilitate it. In terms of finding it, yeah, you can go and hunt for your own. If you've got someone you really want to do work experience with, we'll support you in trying to get that. As Olivia says, sometimes people come to us. And Folio, our employability service, is there to help support students in actually researching and going out for and finding work experience as well. So I'll help you personally to do that.
Great. So I'm going to bring Rachel in next. So Rachel's our photography student. So Rachel, can you tell us, you're a part of the SU, aren't you? And can you tell us why you chose to study at the Northern School of Art?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually my first semester really has just started, and I did come in a little bit late to the party, but as I kind of started looking at potentially coming to university, I obviously looked at the local options for me, and Hartlepool Northern School of Art is just the best out there. It's above and beyond absolutely anything else. So it was just a bit of a no-brainer, really.
And what do you do on the SU, Rachel?
I'm the activities officer. So yeah, we've got lots of things kind of in the pipework. Hopefully we'll be able to get it all sorted and actually have physical events as well, but we have tried to do some online activities as well that we're trying to get sorted and get out there as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll be really busy when it gets to Freshers Week, because we always like to plan in a full week's worth of stuff there. So thank you very much for that, Rachel.
No problem.
The next question is for Teresa Latchmo, Student Services Manager. Are all level 4 students guaranteed accommodation, Teresa?
We've got plenty of accommodation in our halls of residence, and as I mentioned in the talk earlier, we also work with local private providers. However, you know, there are plenty of spaces in halls of residence, and we've never had a problem, you know, housing all of our level 4s that want to come to us. So yeah, not an issue.
Okay. So this one is for Nicola, our finance officer, who has just joined us. Actually, we didn't introduce Nicola at the beginning. If somebody is in two minds whether or not to actually go to university in September, would you recommend that they still apply for student finance to kind of get that started and up and running ASAP? Your mic's on mute, Nicola.
Hello. So the answer is yes. You can apply for student finance as early as February. Once the UCAS deadline is finished, then they'll release notification that the applications are open for September. So you can go online and you can progress your full application without actually putting on where you want to study. You can add that to your application later. So you're setting the ball rolling, you're providing income details, you're providing ID. You can literally have all your finance in place and approved, and at a later date when you've decided which institute you're going to study at, then you just log on back to your account and just tag the uni that you've chosen to go to. So we recommend people do it as early as possible in case there's any teething problems, and then your finance is definitely in place for your September start.
Thank you, Nicola. So this is probably one for Pat again. Why should somebody study a degree at this moment in time over an apprenticeship?
Okay, well, there's one simple answer to that, in that there are very few degree level apprenticeships available in the creative industries, and that's because of the nature of the creative industries in the UK, which is more than 99% made up of very small businesses, or as I said earlier, freelancers working on their own. So the opportunities for creative practitioner based apprenticeships are very, very few. And the reason why I'm stressing the degree level bit of this is that in the creative industries in the UK, it's more than 67% of people employed in them have at least got a first degree, and many have actually got a level 7 master's or higher degree. So this is an industry that's dominated by people with skills at degree level. So you need to get to that level to get off the starting blocks with industry in most cases.
Thank you, Pat. So we've got a fashion-based question. So this is for Carol. What is the kind of unique proposition for our fashion course? What sets our fashion degree apart from other fashion courses or the unis? Your microphone's on mute, Carol.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
There you go.
You'd think I'd know this, wouldn't you? So we have two fashion programs that we're running. We're currently running fashion with Body Contour, which is unique in itself. It offers students the abilities to do conceptual, innovative designs. Our spaces are dedicated studio space for fashion students. We have a large sewing room with industry standard equipment. You get a lot of dedicated time with lecturing staff and the technicians. Our other programme is fashion, and it's all a digital programme, and it will allow students to work across multiple programmes such as graphics, photography, film and television, to be able to gain a job in marketing, merchandising, visual merchandising.
Okay, thank you, Carol. So Johnny, this one is for you. How are auditions being ran at the moment? Are those virtual? And how would they differ from a face-to-face situation?
Yeah, so we did start. I think I got about half a dozen in-person auditions done before we got locked down again. So at the moment, yeah, we are obviously doing them digitally. At the moment, the way that we're doing it is for people to in advance send in self-tapes. And I'm actually doing a talk tomorrow about how to do self-tapes and auditions that you can sign up to through Eventbrite. Then that's followed by a sort of interview Q&A. I keep saying that the hardest bit is getting the self-tapes in, and that's the sort of nervousest bit. So yeah, you do 2 speeches, 1 classical, 1 contemporary, film them on your phone or whatever you've got, and then just send them in to us, and then we sort of take it from there. When we do them in person, I also do a sort of physical theatre workshop. So hopefully, if we're back and things get a bit more back to normal towards the back end of the academic year, we can get back to doing that, because that's always a sort of a chance for students to get an understanding of what the course is like. But yeah, at the moment we try to do all of it online, but after that you can sort of get back in touch with us if you need any more information and stuff.
Thank you. So this is the last question, and it's probably best for our students to answer this. So these potential students haven't visited the area yet. So from your point of view, how would you describe Hartlepool as a place? So Gemma, remember to turn your mic off.
Yeah, is it unmuted?
That's it, yeah.
Hartlepool as a place is very close-knit, I'd say, because everything's really close together. So as somebody mentioned earlier, this uni may not be the uni for you. However, if you like a place, like a really close-knit community where the accommodation is right next to the town centre, which is right next to the train station, and you can go anywhere, then it'll be the place for you.
Thanks very much, Gemma. Okay, so I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank all of our staff and students for taking part this evening. We really do hope you've managed to get as much information as you need to help make your decision. If you still feel as though you have some questions unanswered, please do get in touch with us. All of our staff are still working. We also have students answering questions on our UniBuddy platform, which is available now on our website. You can email us at student recruitment as well. You can also give us a call. So yeah, that's it from me, and we do hope we can see you very shortly. Okay, so thanks very much, everybody.